All right, let's dive into something that I think a lot of us can really relate to. It's this idea coming from the 17th century writer John Owen about two totally different ways of seeing God. There's how we see him now, and then there's how we're told we'll see him one day. And man, are they different.
So, have you ever been there? You just feel spiritually cold, kind of distant, like you're trying to see through a thick fog. Well, you are definitely not alone. It feels awful, right? But what's so interesting is that Owen says this experience is actually a key part of the journey. And to get why, we need to wrap our heads around two really big ideas he lays out.
Okay, so Owen basically builds his whole framework around these two things, faith and sight. Here on Earth, we're operating by faith, and you can think of that as trying to see someone you love through a dirty, fogged-up window. You know they're there, you can make out the shape, but it's imperfect, right? It's interrupted. But then there's sight. That's what awaits us in heaven. And that's like the window being thrown wide open, a perfect, direct, non-stop view. Getting this difference is honestly the key to everything, both why we struggle now and what we have to look forward to.
All right, so why is our view so cloudy? Let's get into the struggles of seeing by faith.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Owen's point is that our view isn't just, naturally a bit fuzzy. No, he says it's actively and frequently being obstructed. There are things, both inside of us and outside of us, that are basically throwing mud on that window we're trying to look through.
So Owen nails it down to three main reasons why our spiritual vision gets so blocked up. First, and this one's tough, is that sometimes Christ withdraws. Second, we create our own distractions. And third, there are Satan's temptations. Let's dig into each of these.
Okay, let's tackle that first one, because it can be a little jarring to hear. The idea that Christ sometimes withdraws, hides himself from us. Now, before you think it's some kind of punishment, Owen argues it's actually a purposeful act, coming from a place of sovereign wisdom. And man, the book of Job just nails this feeling, doesn't it? I go forward, but he is not there. Backward, but I cannot perceive him. It's that gut-wrenching feeling of looking for someone you know should be there, a presence you once felt so strongly, and finding nothing. It's deeply painful. But again, Owen says there's a reason for it.
And here's the twist. The whole point of that feeling of absence is to be a spiritual wake-up call. It's like a splash of cold water. It's designed to shake us out of just coasting along, to get us to stop being lazy in our faith, and to ignite a real passionate search for him. It turns that feeling of loss into a huge motivation.
All right, reason number two. This one brings the focus right back to us, because sometimes the fog isn't coming from the outside. We're the ones generating it. Our own inner world, our thoughts, our worries, our desires, can be the biggest obstacle of all.
And Owen lists a bunch of these fog machines, and they're all super relatable, right? Love of the world, anxieties, selfish desires, affections that are just out of whack. When your mind is just consumed by all this stuff, it creates this constant static. It's like you're trying to listen to a radio station, but all you're getting is noise. You just can't get a clear signal.
And that brings us to the third reason, Satan's temptations. Owen is really clear on this. He says there's an external, intelligent force that is actively working to disrupt our vision, to blind us to what's real and true.
And he describes this as a pretty clever two-pronged attack. For some people, it's all-out war, these fiery darts of doubt, fear, and anxiety that make a peaceful view of Christ basically impossible. But for others, the tactic is way more subtle. It's this careless security. You're just lulled into a false sense of safety where you don't even try to see Christ. It's a general assumption of salvation without any of the work. And honestly, both methods work just as well to keep our vision completely blocked.
Okay, so after laying out all the problems, all the reasons our view is so messy here on Earth, Owen makes a hard pivot. We're shifting from the struggle of faith to the incredible promise of sight.
And this chart just lays out the difference so clearly. Look at this. On Earth, with faith, our instrument is weak, like a glass. It's unsteady. It's full of hindrances. We always see things in parts, bit by bit. But in heaven, with sight, the instrument is perfect. The stability is constant. There are zero hindrances. And we don't just see parts. We comprehend the whole thing all at once. It's not just a minor improvement. It is a complete and total upgrade in every possible way.
And this simple line from Scripture really gets to the heart of it. We shall ever be with the Lord. The key word there is ever. No more of that feeling of withdrawal. No more interruptions. No more distance. Just constant, permanent presence. Forever. But hold on, because this change in vision isn't just about getting a better view. It's about how that view completely changes us. Seeing differently makes us different.
So think about how it works now. By faith, it's a slow, gradual process, right? The Bible calls it being changed from glory to glory. It's happening, but it's never perfect here. But the view by sight? That's totally different. Owen says it's instant and absolute. The very first second we see Christ in his glory, bam, we are completely transformed into his likeness. The act of seeing is the act of becoming.
And this verse is really the whole point. When we shall see him, we shall be like him because we shall see him as he is. Did you catch that? The because is everything. Being like him isn't a reward you get for finally arriving. It is the direct result of seeing him. The vision itself is the transforming power.
I love this analogy. Think about it like a sculpture. Our whole life of faith is like a sculptor just slowly chipping away at this big block of stone. It's hard work, it's messy, but you can see something is taking shape. Progress is being made. But sight? That's the moment the sculptor steps back, whips the cloth off, and instantly reveals the perfect, finished masterpiece, all at once.
So let's wrap this up. It's all about the journey from the glass to the face, from our imperfect faith to that perfect vision.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway. All the stuff we've been talking about, the blurry view, the interruptions, the spiritual fog, it doesn't mean you're failing. Not at all. Owen would say this is the essential, God-given training ground. This is how we're prepared for what's coming. It's the process of getting our souls ready for the sheer weight and wonder of that perfect view.
So what is it that we'll finally see when the fog is gone for good? Owen puts it so beautifully. We will see Christ as he is, altogether lovely. All those little glimpses we get now will finally come together, and the whole picture will just be that. So that really leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? If we really believe this, that a perfect, permanent, and totally transforming future is waiting for us, how does that change how we deal with our messy, imperfect, and interrupted present? How does it change how you handle the fog? Today. That's definitely something to chew on.